Hi there and welcome to another RowAlong workout where I row a workout on this lovely machine. You stick it on video on your phone, your tablet, your computer, and you row along with me while I talk to you about technique, motivation, dinner plans, just anything to try and keep you interested, motivated, and hopefully entertained as we roll along the workout together. Now today I'm going into the Wayback Time machine and I'm going to go all the way back to a workout I did a couple of years ago. Okay, now this was 5 times 11 minutes with 1 minute rest in between. Now you don't have to do all 11 minutes, okay? If you only want to do 3 of them, that's perfectly fine. If you want to do 4 and you want to stop there, that's perfectly fine. However, because this is a low intensity workout, I'd recommend doing at least 3 of them. You can maybe get away with 2 if you're still building up your fitness, but 3 is kind of the minimum if you've got a relatively good amount of fitness on the rowing machine. Okay, now we're going to do this as a stroke rate pyramids. We're going to go 18, 20, 22, then 20, 18 strokes per minute. Okay, so you go faster and slower. And your pace, if you have a 2K training pace, which means your average 500 meter pace to do a 2K time trial, don't worry, it's all listed in the description on my video if you're like, what's he on about here? Then I want you to start at 2K plus 20 pace, then go up to 2K plus 18, so 2 seconds faster, and then 2K plus 15. 3 seconds faster, and then you go back to 2K plus 18, 2K plus 20 on the other end. Okay, so that's your 2K training pace, people. If you don't have one of them, don't worry about it. You can do it on an effort out of 10 point of view. So you can start at 5 out of 10 effort. Now bear in mind, 1 out of 10 is you sitting on the couch eating a bag of crisps, watching Netflix, okay? So you're hardly working out at all. So 5 means you're putting in quite a good amount of effort. Your heart rate's up there at around about 60% of your max. Your breathing is up there, but you can still hold a conversation. The point being, you're not breathing out your ears and absolutely gasping for air, especially because that's the point you're starting at, and you want to then go a little bit faster and a little bit faster, and still you're not wanting to get to a point where you're lying on the floor gasping for air. Okay, so you'll get used to working in the kind of effort out of 10 point of view. But you basically start at 5 and you kind of work your way up to round about 6 out of 10 and then you kind of go down. So we're really not talking a whole amount of effort here, but it's going to put you in that fat burning zone, okay, where you've got low enough heart rate, you're still working, you're breathing hard, you're burning off fatty acids instead of all the kind of the carbs and sugars in your system, and it's all going to be groovy and fantastic, okay? Now, a quick word about how we're going to do this video. I'm going to do, because I'm doing the Wayback Time machine, I'm going to do this myself in silence, but I'm going to play the video, the audio from that video while I'm rowing. Okay, there's a reason behind this. Basically, I need to work on my fitness after being injured and stuff. But I quite like doing this. It helps you just to watch me for the stroke rate and things, and it also means that I don't have to talk to you at the same time, and I can do my own training, and we're all groovy. We're fantastic. However, before we get into this has been a really long intro. Before we get anywhere near this, we have to get into a 4-minute warm-up, okay? And that always starts by setting up our machine. So on a concept 2, that means going to the drag factor and setting that to where you want it to be. Now, if you don't know anything about drag factor, I do have a video up here on YouTube, but you might want to set it around about 130 if you know how to set the drag factor. If you know absolutely nothing about it, then just set it between 4 and 5, okay? Now, I know that varies on lots of different machines, and that's quite a dangerous thing to say, but the important thing is that you don't set it too high. I don't mind if you set it too low, because you're not going to injure yourself. You might just kind of go slower than you think you might be able to. But setting it too high up at 10 is such a big no. So I'm okay with just saying 4 or 5, whatever, to set it around a bit there. However, read into drag factor, it's really important. Next up, set your monitor to eye height. You don't have to look up and you don't have to look down. And finally, get your foot stretchers set to a height where you're able to come to the front of the machine with your shins pointing vertically, comfortably, okay? If you're set too high, you might find you're a little bit bound up. If you're set too low, you might go scooting straight past, and that can cause hyperextension of the back, and if nothing else, you're going to lose power from your stroke, okay? So, 4-minute warm-up. We're finally going to get there, and I'd say shut up, I'm going to carry on talking. We're going to do this around about 20 strokes a minute, and power-wise, I want you just to put enough of a push from your feet that you can think about connecting the power all the way through your body into your hands, okay? I'll explain as we start rowing. Here we go then. Whew, finally. Warm up in 3, 2, 1. And we're off. So what I mean is that rowing is not about pulling on the handle, okay? Rowing is about pushing with your legs. But obviously, you need to somehow get that power from your legs up through your body, connected to the handle, to then make whatever your machine uses to go, okay? So that's about timing. It's about making sure that you push your feet into the machine at the same time your handle grabs or connects, or whatever phrase you want to use. But basically, the chain or whatever you've got on your machine should get connected as your feet push. So as long as you're not pushing too hard here, you'll hopefully be able to work on that sensation of pushing and connecting at the same time. And then if you keep your arms straight and have a forwards tilt into the front of the machine as you push, that power goes up through your body and into the machine. And then the longer you hold that forward tilt and straight arms, the more efficient that power is, the more of a surge you get into the machine. And then only at the back, whoosh, do you finally pull your hands. Okay, in 2 strokes time, one more, we're going to put 1 foot on the ground. So 1 foot on the ground, carry on rowing. Now this has several benefits. It helps you think about that timing, obviously. It helps with your compression and flexibility getting into the front of the machine. And 2 more strokes on this leg. 1 more. As you swap your feet, you can compare just how it feels between the 2 legs. What's your balance like? What's your power like? What's your flexibility like? All these things as you swap feet that can really reveal some nuances to your technique and your body that you may never have considered. Both feet in, legs straight, row with your back and arms. So swing over your back, pull in your arms. Swing, pull, push, swing. Swing, pull, push, swing. Okay, so you lead with your back first, and then you finish with your back on the return. So you're picking up and adding power with your back swing, and then finishing with an arm pull. 1 more here. Roll to the front, arms straight, forward tilt, and just press out with the legs, not too powerfully, okay? Because again, I want you to think about this connection between feet and hands, but also I want you to hold this forwards tilt towards the front of the machine. And think about how long you can hold it as you push with the legs. 1 more. Right. So hopefully I've got it across enough that this is all about power from the legs. It's about the timing between the pushing of the feet and the handle. Now the good thing about today's session is because it's this low rate one, your stroke rates are going to be low enough that you're going to be able to think about technique. And I'm pretty sure that through this video, I do talk quite a lot about technique anyway, so hopefully you'll get a chance to just keep on getting triggered and thinking, oh yeah, I've got to get that forward lean and things. So I need to program it into my monitor. I also need to stick on my earbuds so that I can listen to it. So when we come back, it's going to be pretty much the start of the main session. So make sure, have a quick drink, keep moving up and down the rail, and I will see you on the other side, and then I will see you and talk to you properly in the cool down. Now when it comes to programming the monitor, you can either do this 2 ways. You can program it as 5 11-minute intervals with 1 minute rest in between, or if you just want to set a 60-minute row, you can either rest on those 1 minutes, or if you want, you can row lightly at 15 strokes a minute, or if you really want, you can row at full pressure at 15 strokes a minute during those 1 minute gaps, and that way you can get a full 60-minute row, which you can log in your logbook. Okay, then here we go. My earbuds are in so I can listen to me speaking on the video. You will see me rowing in silence, but you will hear me from the video that I made a couple of years back, okay? Should all make sense, all right? So we're gonna get going. I'm gonna hit play here. There'll be about 10 seconds of him chatting, and then we'll get started, all right? Here we go. bear with me on all this. I'll keep you right when we're going through this. I'm just going at 1,000,000 miles an hour so we can get rowing. Okay, so our first interval, 11 minutes at 18 strokes a minute, round about 2k plus 20 and an effort level of round about 6. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, let's go. 18 strokes a minute. Get yourself comfortable. You're in here for 11 minutes. 2k plus 20 for me is around about 2 minutes. But when I make these videos for you, I tend to back off 1 or 2 seconds because it is actually quite, it takes a bit of a toll on the old cardio system to talk and row at the same time. So 18 is a odd rate because you can't quite catch it on the monitor. There's no like even number. But if you follow me and row along with me, I'll hit the stroke rate most of the time. Sometimes I get a little distracted trying to be funny or going a bit long-winded about technique and I fall off a little bit, but I'll always pull you back. So you might see 17 or 19 on your monitor a few times for your stroke rate, but don't worry, stay with me and you'll be fine. Now once you've found your pace, either by using a 2k plus 20 value or by using a effort out of, like scoring it out of 10 value, this is going to be your kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Foundation for this whole row. So if you're like me, rowing at 202 right now, not only do I want you to keep at 202 for the whole row, or this whole interval I mean, I want you to use that for the rest of the intervals. So if you're 2 minutes 2 seconds right now for your 18 strokes a minute, when we jump up to 20 strokes a minute, you'll then take off 2 seconds, and that will then be 2 minute splits. And then when we go up to 22 strokes a minute, we'll take off another 2, and when we go back to 20, you'll add 2, and then when you're back to 18 again, you'll be back at your original interval time. So for me, 202. So I intend to go 202, 2 minutes, 158, 2 minutes, 202. So the point isn't to have your pace all over the place for this row. You want your stroke rate and your pace to go up and down like a pyramid throughout the entire overall overview of the session. But within each of the intervals, I want your pace to be as consistent as possible. That should be easy enough for those that work on a 2K plus reference. But if you're working from a perceived effort number, you have to get it right. If you've gone off too hard, you'll suffer. You'll suffer two ways. One, you'll get really tired and literally suffer trying to hold on through this hour-long row. And then, because you got it wrong, your rowing performance will suffer. So stick with me for the pace guide and you'll make it to the end. And then you have to choose what you're going to do with that 15 stroke rest minute after each one. Are you going to use it as rest, have a drink and stuff, or are you going to give me 15 hard strokes? Personally, I like the 15 hard stroke option, but I'm not doing it today. Gives you a kind of little taste of proper hardship, because trying to hit a stroke rate after those 15 hard strokes, especially the getting in and out of the 22s, is blooming hard. I'm trying to get your pace back in check, going from that 22 into the 20. That's really hard. It'll really tax your power system, your cardio system, your mental state. It's a really great exposure to hardship on the rower. Am I overselling it? If you were on the fence between wanting to, like, should I not? But I now made it that you're like, no way, I'm not doing that. That sounds like hell. It's not, it's just, it's an hour worth of rowing. So, it's basically the point of this is the 11-minute interval may sound a little random duration wise, but it just means when you add on that 1 minute rest and or power stroke, after all 5 intervals, that adds up to an hour-long row. And I was quite pleased with myself for designing the 30-minute row, the easy way, hard way one. But I thought, why not try it for an hour? Give the people who have never done an hour before the chance to do it, and those who want a different way to do an hour the chance to do it. Right, just under 2 minutes to go on this first interval. Now, I love the sound of my voice so much that it kind of passed me by the last 9 minutes. I don't actually love the sound of my voice. Kind of got used to it through time.
I've got a face for radio and a voice for the written word. Alright, 1 minute to go, 18 strokes. So you should know what you're meant to be doing for this whole row now. Whatever pace you've been aiming for, when we hit the next interval, go faster by 2 strokes a minute and 2 seconds. So you're going to go up to 20 strokes a minute and 2 seconds faster than you're rowing right now. Six strokes to go. 3, 2. Right, so choose whether you're gonna stop, row hard, or row lightly. I'm going for stop, but take your 15 strokes, one every 4 seconds. Either lightly or full force to your legs, okay? This will either give you a chance to recover or a chance to really knock it out of your legs. Those of you who have stopped, cheers. "30 seconds, or 34, 35. Keep going if you're doing the 15s. 20 seconds to go. Right, I'll count them down. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 2. Here we go, 20 strokes a minute. 2 seconds faster than last time. Now hopefully you've hit your stroke rate and pace quite quickly. No matter whether you stopped, rowed lightly, or went for the full pressure row. So just a reminder, I was at 2:02. I'm now at bang on 2 minutes per 500 meters. Slightly slow stroke rate. Stay with me while I catch up. Here we go, that's it. This is back in. Told you I get distracted sometimes. So hopefully you found that all okay. The first interval and the little 1 minute interlude. So your effort level will go up on this one. It's just how soon that happens. If you stopped or carried on rowing lightly, you should be okay right now. If you went 15 hard, you may only now start to be calming down a little bit. So that's why you chose that way. Stick with it. This is why you're strong, why you're fast. Because you don't compromise. You decide why you want to train for speed, for endurance, for mental strength, then you stick with it. Don't give in. Okay? workout. So that's 3 minutes in the can for this one. Why not have a little think about some of your technique choices? Let's go shins first, as always. Are your shins vertical at the front? Hopefully without having to lift your heels too far off the foot plate. And then you can connect properly with the drive. Because your shins are vertical and your heels aren't massively off the foot plate. Okay, so let's move on to arms and shoulders. Make sure as you come in, your arms are relaxed. Okay? Nice and relaxed. Shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed, hands with a nice, loose, hooking grip over the handle. Preferably with thumbs under. And arms straight. Don't bend your elbows until you have to pull it in, okay? And then, when you combine that with a engaged core at the front, what happens is the drive from your legs effortlessly goes through your arms, into the handle, and into the flywheel. Grabbing, tight arms, tight grip, tight shoulders, and bent elbows are all ways that rob you of the power from your legs through to your arms. You can tell this, not now, but you can if you want, but by switching to the force curve. And looking at how the curve changes depending on whether you have relaxed arms, tight arms, bent elbows, soggy core, engaged core. You'll see it hiccups when you don't get the force in evenly. As to the perfect shape of the curve, well, jury's out, but you want it at least to be a smooth amount of force and not be like a mountain, a jaggy mountain peak. That's not ideal. Kind of a sharp slope up, a high peak that lasts as long as possible, and then a sharp drop off. Shows that all of your power is going straight into the flywheel at full power, lasting there, and then instantly finishes. That's what I aim for. That's what I see as the perfect force curve. Now let's just think about the handle going over your knees before they bend. Simple one, this. So handle away, knees bend. Handle away, knees bend. Handle away, knees bend. Preferably, your handle away ends up in your straight, relaxed arms pretty much instantly, and then your knees bend. It helps just set you up so you don't forget about your arms being relaxed and straight. So, handle away, knees bend. Handle away, arms straight, knees bend. Then you add to that the hip rock. So you go handle away, hip rock. Handle away, hip rock. Okay, so you're bending or swinging from 1 o'clock to 11 o'clock comes from a hip rock initiated by your handle away. One minute to go. It's all about inertia, momentum. That hip rock and arms away means you don't have to yank yourself up the rail with the foot straps. But we'll get more into that later. Ten strokes to go. Remember, choose your path. Stop, light rowing, or full pressure strokes. 1 every 4 seconds when the minute comes up. Okay, so here comes the last stroke. Now choose your way. Look at the counter. Count 1 stroke every 4 seconds. And then I'll count you in from 20 seconds to go. You doing okay? If you need it, this minute is quite valuable recovery time. If nothing else, it gives you a chance to drink. I really hope I remember to mute the point when I drink. Okay, so 20, so there's a stroke there. 19, 18, 17, stroke. 13, stroke. 9, stroke. Okay, get ready everybody. Stroke, here we go. 2, 1, and we're at 22 strokes a minute, okay? And 2 seconds faster than you were just then. So it's not overly fast. This shouldn't really knock it out of those of you who stopped or rode lightly for that rest minute. But like I said before, those of you who did the 15 hard strokes may take a minute or so to settle down, but try and get your pace and rate back as quick as you can. Pretty much 22 strokes there. It's another hard one to get the timing bang on. So this is us aiming for the peak of our pyramid. And then after this interval, we're going back down it again. Just stay with me for stroke rate, okay? I'm wearing a heart rate monitor today, just purely out of interest. Not something I tend to do too often. I usually just look at my Apple Watch after a row to see how it went, rather than having it on screen with a live update. But I was averaging 130 for the 18s, 145 for the 20s, and I'm at 159 right now. That's okay. Nowhere near maximum, but definitely also way past UT2, which is more of your foundation training. You can tell it's a little bit harder for me because I'm not talking as much. I wonder if this will be everyone's favourite part of this session for that reason. Try and keep the same pace that you started at. I keep on going 1 or 2 seconds too fast. That's better. Keep your breathing rhythmic. 5 minutes gone. Still take a moment to think about various elements of your technique. Don't let it slip. I'm just trying to think about having a powerful back. Definitely is one of the more kind of taxing sessions from a cardio longevity point of view. The stroke rate and pace is easy, but now that we're almost halfway through, oh well, we're over halfway through, aren't we? It just accumulates. And where this would ordinarily be a really easy pace, suddenly it's just that little bit tougher than if you were just doing a half hour at 20. But then that's the point of this workout. Not every workout can be a single low rate, 20 strokes a minute, half hour or something. You need to mix it up, test your body a little bit. But outside of a race environment, all right, 3 minutes to go. This will fly by, don't worry. At least those of you watching this on Kino Map, I've got music to accompany my less talkative sections. Although, if you're running your own music while watching YouTube, let me know how you're doing it, just so I can help other people with app suggestions and things. Right, 2 minutes. It's only 44 strokes. .33 to go. Keep your pace up. Keep with me for stroke rate. Come on. And then start to think about preparing yourself for the 1 minute in between. If you've just been doing light rowing, feel free to stop, have a drink. Don't think you have to get through this without drinking. The full pressure folks shouldn't need to stop and drink, but if you think it's more important you hydrate, then stop. 11 strokes to go. Last stroke coming up. There you go. Do what you need to. Light rowing, heavy rowing, stopping rowing, like me. My mic cable keeps getting stuck. It's annoying. Give me my heart rate monitor strapless doing it. Yeah. Anyway, cheers. This minute goes by quite quickly, unless you're doing the hard one, in which case it's probably quite slow. Right, here we go. So 4, there's a stroke there, stroke. So we're back down to 20, and I taking my feet out of the foot straps. Okay, 3, 2, 1, here we go. 1 every 3 seconds. And 2 seconds slower than you were just rowing at for the 22s. I'm cheating because I'm strapless. I'm dropping an extra second, so instead of 2 minutes, I'm done at 2:01 and kind of hovering between that and 2. It's a little tougher. Well, it shouldn't be, but it's a little tougher. It shows how much you rely on the foot straps to stop you when you go strapless. Whereas now I have to make sure the entire stroke is finished by the time I come to a rest at the back. Because if it's not, and I still have some backwards momentum going through my body rather than just my arms, I've got nothing to stop me, so I'll fly off the back of the sheet. So from a technique force point of view, strapless rowing is really important. It's also a great workout on the core, because you need at the back like a good strong core to stop folding in yourself, which I keep doing. 2 minutes gone, well done. Hopefully you've got your rate and pace dialed in already. And it's the same pace on the way up this pyramid. You should feel the effort level is reduced a fair bit from the 22s. But probably, if you compared it to the first 20s, it probably feels tougher. That's okay. It's allowed to feel tougher. One tip if you're going to try strapless is, rather than taking your feet completely out of the straps, just loosen them right off by like an inch or so, so that if you do get it wrong and think you're about to go flying off the machine at the back, you can quickly flick up your toes and catch yourself. Which I can't do because my feet aren't in the straps at all. Danger rowing. As long as you've had an hour and a bit to spare today, this should have been a really, really, really useful row. Well, should still be. Not done yet. Whether it's the first time you've ever rowed an hour, or a way to really push your hour at low rate with a little speed bump. Starting to know it's helping me. It's also helping talking to you as well. It's a really good workout for the lungs on top of everything else. Try to get my breathing right while also talking to you. It's a shame I have to rely on the comments section for you to talk back, but then how often would you just say, please shut up? I don't know. I think I quite like to have someone in my ear who's helping pass time and not constantly saying, come on man, faster, faster, don't back off. I mean, I can do that if you want, but this is about distraction training, where you do a good meaty session and I distract you from it with all my scintillating chat. Who's that? Huh. Something just fell off the machine. Oh dear. Right, 4 minutes to go. If you want to count 80 strokes, go ahead. Sometimes I find counting helps, especially when 4 minutes can seem like quite a long time, but 80 strokes doesn't. Kind of the 2K trick. Don't worry about time or distance. Just count in sets of 10 strokes. You can always do 10 strokes. And then you can reassess how you feel. Do another 10 more. Then reassess how you feel. Do that 3 or 4 times. What you'll find is you've gone an extra 300 meters and you might suddenly feel a lot better about your race. The worst thing you can ever do is stop, especially in a race. But equally so in a training session. This is how you get faster. Not by easing off or stopping, but by setting the right pace goals, sticking to them, and completing the sessions. No one's going to make you, so it has to be down to you. I'm not there to shout at you, and I wouldn't anyway. Well, again, unless you were one of my kids. But then I do remember the time Jamie was rowing a 1,000 metre time trial and she got 700 metres into it and just started to cry while she was rowing. And afterwards I said, "Why are you crying?" And she said, "I was really tired and my muscles hurt and I didn't know what else to do. I know I didn't need to stop, but I had to do something. So I started crying." Now, that either makes me a bad dad for making her do a 1k time trial in the first place, or a supportive dad for listening to her, accepting what she said, and supporting her with her choices of whether she ever wanted to do it again, and then when she did do it again, making sure she was okay. Don't want to break the kids. Right, 7 strokes to go. Look at that. My wee story took care of the last 2 minutes. 4, 3, get ready for your 15s, however you're going to do them, or zeros in my case. There we go, so go. 15 hard, 15 soft, or stopping. One more interval to go at 18 strokes a minute, 2k plus 20, 2 seconds slower than you just were, and the same pace you were in the first interval. Slange. Don't know if I'm allowed to say that if it's not whiskey. Slange va, being the Scottish version of cheers. All right, so 16, 12, 8, one last stroke coming up if you're on 15s. Go, 2, 1, here we go, 18 strokes a minute, 2k plus 20. After all the work you've just done, this will probably just feel like a cool down. But don't worry, that's how we're going to finish this off. So we're going to do this 11 minutes. Make sure you get to your stroke rate and pace. That was much to me as it was to you. But we'll do this 11 minutes. We'll do our final 1 minute. And then we'll do a quick cool down after that. So we've got just over 10 minutes of this interval to go. And then depending on what you do with that last minute, you might still have 1 more minute of hardship, and then we're done. No matter how you've addressed this session, well done. You've been rowing for 44 minutes plus 2 and a bit so far. No, wait, that's wrong. 48 plus 2 and a bit. So that's over 50 minutes. I suppose it depends what you do. I'm not entirely wrong. I notice I'm still strapless. And you'll notice I've not fallen off the back yet. Hopefully I won't. The other thing I'd like to point out is I'm not wearing gloves and I'm not using a seat pad. Now, the gloves, or lack of, I put down to the relaxed grip I talked about. Fingers hooking over the front in a nice relaxed fashion. Not only helps reduce pressure blisters from squeezing too hard on the handle, but and it also helps to prevent kind of sweat blisters, because there's still some amount of air circulating around your hands when they're loose. Now, I'm not saying that it did take a while to get the technique right, and I maybe have a couple of calluses on my index fingers. Index? No, middle finger. But you really shouldn't need gloves in most instances. Maybe if you get a blister, wear gloves or put some tape around the blister until it heals. But unless you're a hand model, or you have a reason that you don't want a little bit of wear and tear on your hands, I don't think you need gloves. But that's me editorializing. You do what you want. Same goes with the seat pad. Maybe, again, my backside is used to going forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards, so it doesn't hurt anymore. But you'll notice I don't use a seat pad. I don't really have any intention to. Apart from someone was telling me about one that might help my rubbish posture. Might investigate that. But it does cost €100, so not right now. Unless, of course, they'd like to send me one for free. I'll do a sponsored video reviewing it. So, come on, P-Row or Prow people. I don't think the internet works that way. Maybe it does. 5 minutes to go, 6 minutes gone. Keep your pace and your rate right. I know I keep saying that, but this is about consistency. And unless you've done the 15 hards in between and are now really suffering, I've programmed this in a way that you shouldn't need to have backed off from your pace. It'll certainly feel tougher than the first time you did 18 strokes a minute all those minutes ago, but not so much that you want to stop, but enough that when you have stopped you'll be glad to have stopped, if you get what I mean. my heart rate. So 163. So pretty much where it was at during the 22s. So shows that my has been first time round on the 18s. It was 130. It shows about cardiac drift and how my body is definitely working harder this time round than it was last time. Three minutes to go. 54 strokes. Don't worry, I'm not going to count them with you. Hope you've enjoyed it today. As always, I'd love it if you could leave a comment saying whether you liked it or not. Today's code word, if you're going to leave a negative review, is peaches. So if you're going to leave a negative comment, I want you to say peaches at the end, just so I know you got to the end. You can say it if you want, even if you did enjoy it, and that way I know you got to the end. Let's just hope they're all positive comments. I hate to think I wasted an hour of your life and my life for a workout you didn't enjoy. I certainly have. I'm doing this one again. It's important, especially right now, to not overburden the cardio system. So this, to me, is the perfect workout. 1 minute to go. It adds an element of hardship, a big element of cardio training to build your fitness. Gives you a chance to think about your stroke sequencing technique, chance to build some rhythm by following me. And it's a bit late to say it, but I mean literally follow me. So drive at the same time, recover at the same time. I should probably told you that at the beginning, eh? Hopefully you got that. 6 strokes to go. And then we have our last 1 minute, which I'll do along with you. Last stroke. All right, let's do our 15s. I'm going light. You can go hard. If you're going hard, don't follow my drive and recovery times. You'll probably want to drive a lot faster than me and recover slower, but still covering the same 4 seconds. Five seconds to go. Sorry, 5 strokes, sorry. Oh, I'm delirious. Two strokes. Last one. There we go. All right. Keep rolling if you want. I'm just going to quickly reset my monitor. There we go.
I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, I know I did. There were some things chat-wise which were interesting. But yeah, that was a great row. So, have a quick drink and then we'll get into a 2-minute cool down. Just do this, kind of run about 18 to 20 strokes a minute. At kind of similar intensity you were just rowing at then, and then basically gradually stop. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. Now the truth is if you did take a slow row for that last minute, like I did, then you're already kind of halfway there on the cool down. But that's only from a physical point of view, where just continuing on would have kind of eased your muscles off a little bit, but you also need to disengage your brain slightly. After all, that was 55 minutes to an hour of concentrating on pace and stroke rate, and that's a long time to be concentrating. Even if you did hit a rhythm and you were able to switch off just listening to me talking to you, or well, other me talking to you, it's still an element of focus there that can really tire you out. And trust me, focus is like any other muscle in your body. You need to train it to be able to focus at length. There's a big thing about, so I play the drums, and it's, if I'm in just practicing and I'm doing kind of technical practicing stuff, I find I can only really do it for about 15 minutes before my concentration just goes. I can just no longer hold the patterns I'm supposed to be playing, it just goes. And so I'm trying to train my focus to last longer, even if it's only 15 seconds each time. I'm physically kind of making myself go a little bit more each time. Okay, last stroke for me on this cool down. You of course don't have to stop with me, you can continue to cool down, or find yourself a safe space somewhere, a nice mat or something, and Stretching John has just appeared, and he will take you through various stretches that I do usually at the end of a row in order to make sure that my body is kind of eased off and I'm not going to kind of seize or either go back to my desk or whatever. However, right now, because I'm still nursing this back injury, I'm really just concentrating on hip flexors right after rowing, and then I do a longer session. I'll focus on trying to get this nerve in my back a little bit more activated so it doesn't hurt as much. It's getting better, in case you've been following the progress of my back over the past few weeks. Pretty much everything is back to normal. I still can't run. There's still something strange going on with the muscles down my left side, down kind of obliques through into my hip. So I still can't run, but I can row, obviously, because you just saw me rowing for all that time. Still maybe a couple of seconds off pace, and I think my technique still isn't quite right. I'm still not getting that full lean into the front of the machine, that kind of pivot forwards over my hips, because it's that nerve right down my spine that just feels like it's like a steel rope down my spine. Instead of it being something elasticated that will let me tilt forwards, it just feels like it's completely rigid, and it's holding me back, and I'm just not able to, I've just got no flexibility in it. So I'm spending a lot of time stretching my hip flexors and my hamstrings, both of which I get the feeling are what's kind of causing the instability in the first place. It might not be what's causing this problem with in my spine, but I think it's what caused the instability in my SI joint, which is kind of that was the big problem with what was going on. So that's why I'm just stretching my hip flexors right now. And then what I tend to do, I'll probably sharing too much, but I tend to just go in the shower and just kind of slump forwards, fold my arms and kind of bend forwards, and just stretch. Try and stretch off my hamstrings. Not a move to do in prison. Sorry, is that taking things a bit too far? I don't intend to go into prison, so... Siri just kicked in, I wonder why. Anyway, it's probably saying, shut up, don't cut that bit out. I'm delirious. I mean, that's the... fair enough, I did have the 4 rests rather than the last 1 minute, but that, since injuring my back, that's the longest that I've been on the row machine for. I've done long bike rides, I've done like 2-hour Zwift bike rides and things, but it's not the same because I just get into position on the turbo trainer and then pedal and that's it. Whereas the row machine, because of that pivot forwards and backwards, but I do think that that's helping because it's stretching my back. Oh, hang on, my watch is asking if I finished my workout. I have, thank you very much. What does it say? While we're here, what does it say? Oh, it says you're falling over. So in that row today, in case you're interested, just following on from the fact I've been doing the kind of the transformation process. So active calories, according to my watch, was 591 calories. Total calories, 702. So that's basically saying that in total over that hour, I burnt 702 calories, but in an hour anyway, I'd tend to burn around about 90 to 100 calories just by being alive. Your body burns energy just by being alive, especially your brain, that takes up most of the energy burn. So I would have burnt all those calories anyway, even if I was just sitting on the couch. So it then says, however, active calories, as in like extra calories just by doing that row, was 591, which is pretty cool. That's what, 2 cookies or something, isn't it? So, not that I'm going to go inside and eat 2 cookies, but I'm kind of looking at what to do about making sure that I can not balloon while I'm not exercising as much as I would normally be due to this injury. It's quite handy. So what it means is that I'm going to be in my calorie deficit hopefully today. I'm not actually, in fact, I don't know if it will be saved to my fitness pal yet, but let's check. Even if it's not, I can always add. There you go. Yeah, exercise 592. So my fitness pal takes the active calories, not the total calories from that. And so that's quite good. Have I put my dinner in yet? I've not. So before I've already eaten, which I had a nice sausage pasta. In fact, can I put this in? I know. Listen, man types on phone. Do I have sausage pasta saved in here? Sausage pasta. There we go. 413 calories for sausage pasta. And if I go back to my thing, then I couldn't have logged something because currently it's saying, oh, there was snacks, saying I still have 1,050 calories remaining for today, which is a little bit much of a calorie deficit. I'm going to have to go in and eat more pasta. But I'm going to go and check that my sausage pasta calories isn't just the sauce, that needs to have like the pasta in it as well. But I'm going to go home. I'm going to go in and have what I tend to have at night before, an hour before bed, like 10 o'clock-ish, is I'll have lactose-free yogurt, just because lactose-free is quite, I think I'm lactose intolerant, but anyway. I have that with collagen protein powder stirred into it to really up the protein, and then raspberries and blueberries, and that adds up to about 800 calories, so that'll make up my calorie deficit. But there we go, so that's kind of how I do things. I'm not an absolute slave to the calories. It's not like, so basically this says that if my BMR should be like 2150 a day. I burn 2,150 calories a day just being alive. So as long as I don't eat over that, I shouldn't put on any weight. But if I eat under that, then I should lose weight. Okay, good. Makes sense that way. And so my fitness pal wants me to only have like 1,800 calories a day to put myself into a really big deficit to try and lose weight. So then I could go, okay, but then I could offset with exercise. So that was 500 and 90 odd calories. But then I don't kind of go, I'm just shaving 6-7 calories here and there. I make sure and give myself like a buffer of about 200 calories because there's so much stuff that's just completely inaccurate. Like I tend to snack on nuts all the time, and nuts are hugely calorific because of all the fat in them. But actually, you don't digest all of the nuts. Like you can see, I'm not going to say how, but you can see that not all your nuts get digested. So that's kind of, when it comes to eating calories, it's a little bit of a, so really what it comes down to is I use this as a portion control thing, and to make sure I'm not massively overeating or undereating, because you need to make sure and fuel yourself up if you're going to do a workout like that. So that's what I use it for. But I don't sit here and track every last calorie to try and go, oh, I'm 10 calories under, I've been a good boy. I just kind of go, all right, okay, if I'm 10 under, 10 over, 100 under, 100 over, it's fine. As long as I'm not 700 over, that's when it's bad. Anyway, right, ramble. I hope you enjoyed this throwback, way back machine row. I do enjoy doing them because it gets me a chance just to kind of shut off and do some training, and it gets me to regurgitate an old video. That one's actually had quite a lot of views, that 5x11, the kind of 55-hour one, so hopefully it's one that people will still respond to. And hopefully it works for you, just having the other John speaking where I'm just kind of rowing along in silence. If it doesn't, if you'd rather that I was honest about this and spoke to you at the same time, do let me know, because I need to know what works and what doesn't work for this channel to try and know how to grow it. So if this is a bit of I'd rather you you made a fresh one each time, then just let me know and I'll stop doing it this way around. But yeah, like I say, it's kind of handy when it comes to my recovery and stuff to do it this way. But then I can just do it in my own time and not video it. So anyway, thank you so much either way for being here. Please do get in touch somehow, whether it's through info@rowalong.com via email, whether it's on the Facebook group, just RowAlong Workouts group, or whether it's just a comment on this video on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram, whatever you want to do, then I'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you do get a chance, do click subscribe and the bell icon, and that way you'll get notified when I upload a video. And remember, I do also have a podcast version of nearly all of my rows as well. Some of them I don't, like this one I probably won't turn into a podcast because it's been up before, but you never know, I might, you never know. Who knows? Anyway, so I'm going to go because I have to do all that stretching of which I spoke. So I will see you in another video. Please look after yourselves. Until that next video, I will see you soon. All right, be well. Bye-bye.